got 4 reasons why you're struggling with your health, why you keep getting sick.
Sick as a dog.
You need to be eating these foods and getting them into your regular diet. A lack of these, hence your frequent illnesses. You ready to roll?
Yeah.
We found an article that brings some stuff to light.
Yeah, it was in the Huffington Post, your favorite.
Okay.
Now, I just came across my feed
Yeah.
of major news stories. But, I didn't go looking for it. It was, boom, it's hitting everybody in the face.
Good.
And it was called The 4 Shortfall Nutrients Experts Worry Most About. And they said it's gotten so bad, they're officially called nutrients of public health concern.
Wow.
And I know we kind of make fun of certain things and certain news stories. I'm not making fun of this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's legit.
Well,
in my opinion, it's legit. And certain things you need to be aware of.
I feel like just in the last couple months, I've been a little more sick than usual, and I found myself like, am I missing some nutrients? Do I need to be pounding more vegetables? So I think this will be applicable to a lot of us.
I think one thing I want to be aware of is I think there's so many scams and goofy things out there that a lot of people are cynical and they're like, oh, who cares? And there's an assumption that the government doesn't want me to be sick. Surely they're putting enough vitamins in the things that I'm eating. Surely that I should be okay. And I know there's the opposite people like, no, they're out to kill you, right? So we're not the conspiracy theorists on that end that everybody's out to kill you. I know we got some of our listeners there. That's fine. And then we got the other end that surely the government wants to make sure I've got enough nutrition, so they fortify my milk, right? And so we can go, we're just trying to be reasonable here, right? There's people that should care more. We're kind of in the, let's be reasonably healthy. Yep. Let's not be idiots. We're not 3 years old trying to, we got brains. So that's how we want, that's how we want to approach this. You know what it reminds me of when they're saying, this is a concern. Remember the stories in school, middle school, about the sailors in the hundreds of years ago, and they scurvy. And literally, Captain Cook would go out on a voyage with 100 men. He'd return with 20. And the reason he lost 80 out of 100 men, this was not unusual, was a deficiency of nutrients.
So
specifically vitamin C. But yeah, it's like you don't think it's going to affect you.
To a slightly lesser extent, we're dealing with what happened back on those ships. What are you lacking that's making you sick?
You don't think you're going to get sick if you're not getting enough of certain nutrients? Of course you are.
Let's get into number 1, baby.
So let's get into the ones they brought out. Can you guess what the 4 are? Number 1, and it's interesting because number 1, I remember I was just looking at a Reader's Digest 25 years ago. And it said, you need to double this. It just said, everybody, double this in your diet.
Right now.
Double it.
Guess
everybody
right now.
double it.
Double this. What is it?
And you might say, well, I'm already doing a lot of it. No, double it. And it's fiber. It's that we need more fiber in our diets. And I hope to not bore people to death with chemistry or anything. That's not my method. Let's just be real here.
I think this is interesting.
Well, good. Where are you getting fiber in your diet? Why are we not getting enough fiber? Why do we need to double our fiber? Well, because we don't eat that many fruits and vegetables. Most people eat way less than they should to get proper nutrition from their fruits and vegetables. Of course, a lot of people think of fiber. If I'm not getting fiber, I'm going to be constipated, right? It's not cleaning out your colon. It's not giving you healthy bacteria in your gut. Fiber helps you to regulation of blood glucose. So there's different things. So everybody watching, double your fiber.
Well, you got in the barn. Pull out the Barney bag. You got some items in the Barney bag?
I got some items here. So, normal things like, here, take that. Woo! Good fiber in that. This, you know what that is? That's some kind of cool orange thing. And a surprising one, these dates here. Look at these dates. And these kiwi. These are things that I actually have in my house. And it's funny because my brother-in-law was visiting here one time, and he put a Coke in my refrigerator. And he opened the refrigerator, he put a Coke in there, and then he closed it. He said, that Coke is going to need therapy. And he was saying because that refrigerator to him looked like this. And a lot of people, they don't have this kind of stuff.
That's funny.
So what we have, one thing we need to do, Paul, is stop eating like a little kid.
Wow.
Too many adults eat like little kids.
Calling us
and
out.
It's chicken nuggets and what do they eat with cheese on it? Cheese and noodles?
Mac
and cheese. And they're like, that's annoying, corn dogs. And it's like, we got to just stop eating like a little kid. Take a little responsibility. These kiwis are amazing.
We've been eating a lot of kiwis in our house.
But they're not amazing if you're like a donut person. And you're like, well, for me, I eat donuts for breakfast. we got to grow up a little bit. It's just we got to move out of this donut mentality or bacon. I mean, not bacon. I'm fine with it, but biscuit and jelly is my breakfast, or a bagel and cream cheese is my breakfast.
Sure.
No wonder we got these issues. So stuff like this. Look at these dates. Pull one of those dates out.
Absolutely.
What do you call those?
Well, these do have seeds in them. It almost got me. I ate one this morning. Almost had in my teeth.
Look how big that thing is.
These are Medjool.
And you got people watching that are diabetics, and they're like, oh, well, this is high in sugar. See, this, and I was watching a report on it, dates don't affect your blood sugar like a piece of candy would because of the fiber, because of the different things that are in these things. Same with the sugar in a kiwi. People will do my program, and they'll say, because you can have apples on my program, and they'll say, can I have apple sauce? Can I have apple juice? I'm like, it's the same thing. I'm like, no, it's nowhere near the same thing. Nowhere near the same thing. No, you can't have apple sauce.
Interesting.
No, you can't have apple juice.
Wow.
But you can have an apple because it's different. I'm not here to educate you on all of the nutrients in these foods, only to say, reach for an apple instead of a bagel, and then you're not having the fiber issues. And these are wonderful. The ones with the seeds, these big ones, are a lot better than the smaller ones without the seeds.
Are they really? Like health-wise?
Oh, just delicious-wise. Meatier. It's just so much
Well,
better.
I had a handful of cashews with one of these earlier. It's a very good combination in my mouth.
Oh, interesting. And you know these kiwis? It's called the fuzzy fruit. They're from, where do you get them from? Australia or somewhere like is that where these are from?
The Galapagos?
But you can actually eat the skin on these, and most people would never think that. And they're highly nutritious. So just some thoughts on
I've probably
that.
eaten the skin in the last 10 kiwis I've had. So
The whole skin?
I just cut off the very ends.
Wow, yeah, that's bold right there. That's a health nut right there. Woo! I just leave a little bit on because it's not that tasty. Woo! So that's a way to get more fiber. What's the number 2? Can you see it?
Number 2.
People think of this, they think of bone health.
I didn't know that was
Right.
it, actually.
Right.
Calcium.
Calcium.
Okay.
For bones, and it's also good for heart health. Of course, osteoporosis. I was in a meeting one time, and I heard a lady, she was in her 60s. She was walking over to get a drink, and suddenly hits the floor. And her hip breaks.
You probably just broke their eardrums. with
Sorry.
that clap.
Her hip broke. Right? And women whose hips break, it's a major deal. Your bone fractures, you're brittle, so calcium's critical. Where are you getting calcium from? What do you think?
There was the big campaign of like everyone thinks milk.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other foods that really are high in calcium.
What's
as well.
maybe a better food than milk to get
Eggs.
your calcium from? Eggs? Chicken.
Vegetables.
But one thing that's going to be higher in that would be like Greek yogurt.
Oh.
Broccoli. Because dairy
Broccoli.
does. Broccoli. And I know a lot of people are down on dairy and cheese for various reasons, but broccoli, leafy greens,
Leafy greens.
Greek
spinach.
yogurt.
Spinach has a good amount of calcium.
spinach, chia seeds are real high in calcium. So
Bless you.
do that kind of thing. Chia.
Okay, good. So calcium. That is something that's really important that a lot of people are lacking.
Very good. All right, what's number 3? Vitamin. It's big. This is the one supplement I take. I take one vitamin supplement every day, and this is it. I meant to bring it up,
Wow.
and it's like 2,000 IU or something like that. I take one every day.
Wow.
And it's the one. It's another one, kind of like fiber. It's like double it. And people say, well, what if you're already getting enough? You're at a higher risk of not getting enough of this than you are getting too much. Everybody should be taking a supplement on it that lives in America.
Really?
Because you're probably not getting enough. Well, what if they're already getting enough? If you're going to risk it, risk taking too much
Okay, cool.
rather than living with too little of it.
Okay.
So if you don't know what your level is, you'd be better off taking a supplement than not. If you really want to make sure, go check your level. And it is vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
Vitamin D. I take the Spring Valley. I did a little research, found out that was a good one, but I take the Spring Valley vitamin D, get it at Walmart.
Not sponsored though. This is big.
No, not sponsored. Not sponsored. So get your D. Where do you get it naturally? Anytime you can get stuff naturally in your food is
You
better.
want to be doing that on the reg.
Where do you think you get vitamin D? Where do a lot of people think they're getting their D from?
Is that vitamin C's the oranges? Worship.
The sun. Don't worship the sun. You get it from the sun. So a lot of people think, well, I'm out in the sun a lot, and there are even surfers in Hawaii that don't have enough vitamin D.
So you're gonna need a lot of sunshine.
So
A
it's like
lot
you
of
really think you're
sunshine.
getting it from your sun. Do your research. You're still probably not.
Give us some food.
You should take one. And the foods that have vitamin D would be salmon, baby,
Okay.
beef, mushrooms. Did you know mushrooms are closer to being an animal than they are a plant? It's like
I
a
didn't know
fungus.
that.
It's closer to being an animal than it is a plant. Mushrooms, and that's why living things tend to give you the vitamin D more than plants would. But you get it from salmon, a living thing.
Yeah.
That's dead when you eat it typically.
Typically.
Beef, mushrooms, and some people get nervous. Oh, well, you don't want to overdo it, and it's the poor folks. I know some people that don't eat enough food and they're nervous, and some are anorexic, and it's sad because they're dying, and they're like, well, I don't want to eat too much of this or too much of that, and it's like their mindset is just off, and you need help. When some people would do this with, well, I don't want too much fiber, when they're way low on fiber, and it's like risk taking too much. Same with D, risk getting too much rather than too little of this. Some people are going to argue that. Hear what I'm saying.
I think we get it. I think we hear you. Very good.
So what are some things you need D for? Bone health, overall health, mental health. There's some research showing that depression is partly a result of too little vitamin D.
Wow.
The mental, yeah, I said that. Most of those types of things. Okay, so that was D.
Great.
All right. Did we have anything in here with D? Oh, a couple other foods.
Oh, yeah. Pull them out, dude. Pull them out. Of course.
Because some people are just struggling. They don't like certain things. So we get this at the health food store here. It's sweet pickled baby beets.
I thought those were pickled eggs. So I'm glad to see
that would be good too.
Oh.
Sweet pickled baby beets. But when we're so used to eating processed stuff and we're geared to that, and a lot of people say, "Ooh, I hate beets," and my response to that is, I get it, but you're gonna have to grow up a little bit.
Wow.
You got to get out of the chicken nugget, mac and cheese.
I'm noticing a theme in this
lifestyle.
video, and it's you need to grow up a little bit and branch out a little bit.
Yeah,
to stuff that really
you're
is.
just gonna have to realize: do you want to live a real life, or this kind of? I'm sickly, and I eat this stuff, and I drink this stuff, and I never really, they get this, they understand
They
this.
understand that. Get that out of here. Get that out of my sight.
30 ingredients. You know how many ingredients are in those dates?
Dates.
Yeah.
Just dates.
One. Dates. You know how many ingredients are in the apple? One. It's an apple. You know how many ingredients are in the orange? One. It's an orange. You know how many ingredients are in these beets? A couple. It does have sugar in it, but please don't be down on the sugar. Eat the beets.
Eat the beets.
And look at this thing. You know what this is?
Avocado.
Avocado. You know avocado is a fruit? Avocado is relatively, it's the highest protein fruit, I believe there is. High in protein for a fruit.
And high in fat.
High in fat,
Good
healthy
fats,
fat.
Good fats.
High in good fibers. Guys, whenever you're offered guacamole, say yes. The queso, probably no. Guac, say yes.
One ingredient.
You ought to eat at least half an avocado every day of your life.
One ingredient with
One
avocado.
ingredient. There's one ingredient in here.
Queso.
Queso.
Hundreds.
100 ingredients.
Hundreds ingredients.
One ingredient. Look at this. Look at it.
What is
Look
that?
at this.
Ah, of course.
This was just downstairs in our fridge. This is a sweet potato. You know how many ingredients are in this?
Just one sweet potato.
One. It's sweet potato. Come on, people. Let's start living a little bit.
That's good. I was going to say, a good way, if you're kind of in your mind is, I'm such a simple eater. I know I need to eat healthier. I probably should be eating avocados and beets and dates, but that's just so outside of my norm. I think it's fun. Watch those seeds, dude.
Look at this
those
date.
seeds. Watch them.
Go
I
ahead.
think it would be fun to go to kind of an organic type, whether it's a restaurant or just Whole Foods. Like, go into Whole Foods, they make it a priority. I'm not saying everything's perfect in there, but go to the hot bar, go to the cold bar, and you're going to see so many of these foods in creative, tasty dishes.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'd be doing.
These things are amazing.
Those are really good, especially with some cashews.
Now, it's not really good if you're used to eating a Snickers and you're trying to decide, do I want a Snickers or a date? You've got to get out of this mindset and just open up. That's one of the reasons when people are doing my program, we have a food list. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, why can't I have this? Why can't I have that? And it's like, I'm giving you a list of great foods. And one reason I don't have other foods on there is because I want you to be shaken and realize there's other foods. Eat some of this stuff for a while. Americans in general are overfed and undernourished. I was working with a lady who needed to lose 200 pounds. And she could have eaten 1/3, which is what she should have done, of what she was eating, and had made way more nourishment. One thing I was like, well, surely you're getting enough nourishment if you're eating as much as you are. And she probably was, but the reality is we can get all the calories we need from Mountain Dew and potato chips.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But one of the reasons some people are still hungry and craving is they're getting so few nutrients. So to move more, and I'm not a purist. You've heard me say many times, you can eat anything you want and be healthy.
Go back and watch Trainer Joe. What didn't you do? What you eat in a day?
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. Find that video. It was from not too long ago. And see, he's not a purist, but he's eating a lot of quality food.
And I think I got a good approach. You can eat anything you want and be healthy. You just can't eat everything. And once you adopt that, I can eat anything, I can't eat everything, you start being more selective naturally. It just comes out that, well, the fact that I just can't eat everything, I need to choose, and suddenly it's just a little more organically coming out of you, making better choices. That's my preaching. And here's some stuff.
Very good.
Cashews,
There they are.
pistachios, and some people are like, well, be careful, these are high fat. You know, a lot of people, and like with breakfast, it's like, well, people pick on bacon or eggs, and it's like, no, it's not so much the bacon and eggs, it's your biscuits and gravy and jellies and other orange juice, but they pick on the bacon and eggs.
Okay. So stop picking on that, especially the eggs. Stop picking on the eggs for sure.
Leave the eggs alone.
Well, what do we got for number 4? The fourth ingredient,
Fourth
nutrient
one, what do you think?
that we are neglecting and being sick from neglecting.
Let's talk about what this one does first. It plays an important role in regulating blood pressure. I remember my dad, his doctor said, you need to eat this piece of fruit every day because he wanted him to have this to help regulate his blood pressure, and that is
Potassium,
potassium.
which would be a banana, I'm assuming.
And you think of bananas.
A
So
banana
they told
eat
him to eat a
every day.
banana every day.
Yeah.
Where else are they getting potassium?
I'm sure there's other fruits and vegetables.
I'm sure these kiwis are probably high in it, and vitamin C.
Okay.
Those dates. See, once you're naturally eating more whole foods, you don't even have to think about it because you're just getting it.
Yeah.
I saw this guy did a story on apples and what's in apples. He was a dietitian for the Cancer Research Centers of America, and he said, we can take an apple now and tell you everything that's in an apple. And he said, here's page 1 of what's in an apple. It had, sucrose, sugar, lysine, vitamin A, vitamin C, fiber, this kind of fiber, that kind. And he had 5 pages. This is what's in an apple. You don't get that in a bagel. And I'm fine with a bagel, but we've got to, you choose more whole foods. You don't have to think about it as much. Same with potassium. Eat a banana.
So, people that are getting sick regularly have a very simple, as you kind of called them out, they eat a little bit like a child. What's your last word?
Not all of them, but yeah, a lot of them do.
What's your final word to them after this, to sum up this video?
Did I go too long on that? Because I wanted to say a couple more things about potassium.
Oh, please. Go
Potassium, because we get a lot of us too much sodium, we need to balance that out with some potassium to maintain the right balance of fluids and electrolytes in our body. When you have the wrong balance, then that can cause high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease. So bananas are high. Also, potatoes are high in potassium. And a lot of people are, oh, well, potatoes are carbs. Or this. You know why people are having carb issues? Because they overeat. Oh. That's why they're having so many carbs, because they overeat. And now we have to get all picky and stuff. If you would just eat like a normal person and not like a second grader, suddenly you don't have all these issues. Is that too harsh on people? I'm just saying that's how we do it. I get it. All right, too much crap, too much junk food, and now we got to start being all really smart about the way we eat. If you just ate more natural stuff, you wouldn't have to make all these adjustments.
I'm curious, you guys, him kind of like challenging us to not eat like second graders. Just be honest in the comment section, because the comment section is a great place for encouragement. Do you feel like you've allowed yourself, for whatever reason, could be a lot of reasons, to eat like a second grader, and are you ready to go ahead and branch out and eat like an adult and invite more of these foods into your diet? That God equipped us to get all this nutrients if we'll eat these great foods.
And some people were saying when I said a potato is good in potassium, they're like, oh, good, I eat French fries. See, that's the second grader coming back again. That's not what we're talking about, brother.
Come on, brother and sister.
Come on, brother.
All right, guys, comment below. Let us know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys again. We make lots of these videos and really are looking to help you guys, help you all on your health journey, help you all on your weight loss journey. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss these videos. Trainer Joe. Train your brain.
And transform your body.